Guys, what is up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I'm having an issue loading this live stream myself, and that's not good. Say something in the chat if you can see me right now, because I'm struggling to load this up on my end. The video is not loading, so you guys can see me? All right, well, maybe I'll just fly by the seat of my pants and yeah, I don't need to see myself. Doesn't really matter. I can see your guys' chat. So, good enough for me. You know what I mean? How you guys doing tonight? Good to see you. Good to hang out with you. Cheers. Just wanted to catch up a little bit. Show you guys what I picked up from Discount Tackle this month. Not a bunch of stuff. I've opened a few of them already. So, yeah, I've been out fishing, doing a lot of multi-species fishing in the last few weeks, or last month since I saw you guys last. But Justin, thanks for asking. Doing pretty well, man. The baby is 2 months and change old now, so time is flying by, but everybody's doing well. The baby's growing like a weed. Will's is about 11 pounds now, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for the size at which he was born, he's been growing very quickly, doing quite well. So all is good on that front. Sleep is still kind of, sparse, we'll say. But did have a chance to get up to the mountains with the family this past weekend to a little getaway, a family piece of property that we've got up in Granby on the Colorado River. Did a lot of fly fishing. Got to use a lot of the flies that I've been tying. Didn't let you guys know, but in the last month or so, I've really gotten into fly tying personally. And I find a lot of enjoyment and peace out of learning new patterns and tying my own flies. So anyway, caught a bunch of fish, probably 50 or so rainbow and brown trout, mostly browns actually, probably 75-80% browns, and the remainder rainbows, all kind of in that 16 to 20 inch range. So good sized fish, nothing giant, but not too many small ones either. So anyway, how are you guys doing tonight? Mr. Can Dunk? Does that mean you can dunk or what? Justin, William, and Ron. Holding back what? Yeah, the only thing I'm holding back is that when we were up in the mountains, my wife did get a little bit sick. She had an allergic reaction to an antibiotic medication she was on, so we did have to go to the emergency room on Saturday night, which was super unfortunate. Just a little bit of a hassle, but she got an injection, some steroids help her get over the hump. So anyway, yeah, all good there. It's just been a little bit chaotic this week here at the house dealing with that. But in terms of fishing, I've fished a couple bodies of water here close to Denver and had some pretty good success. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I posted a picture of a walleye that I caught out of that pond, a pretty decent one actually. And I've had a lot of success catching not just that walleye, but crappie and bass and bluegill as well on a variety of smaller presentations. So especially like a weightless fluke style bait, the Strike King Z2. or Baby Z2, I should say. It's an Elastec style fluke bait that is just 3 3/4 inches long. Rigging that Texas rig style. If you stretch out those Elastec baits made by Strike King, they've got a little bit more, well, sold by Strike King. They're made by Z-Man, but they're made with a little bit more salt in them. So if you stretch them out nice and good, they will actually suspend or slow sink. So if you throw them on a heavier hook, they will have a very slow sink. And that's been an awesome presentation for me. Caught a bunch of fish that way. Also had some really good success on the mule fishing Donkey Tail Junior. I showed you those baits recently. Here's the Donkey Tail. That's standard size, 2.8 inch, but they make that smaller one that's 1.6 inches, I believe, that is just minuscule, tiny little swim bait, and I have done really well catching bluegill, crappie, and bass, small bass, albeit, but done really well on those. So that has been super fun. Yeah, Ron, I've been fly tying quite a lot over the last month, maybe 2 months, and I don't know why, I just felt like it didn't cross over with the channel here, being primarily bass fishing and about lures and baits more so than flies. So I will make a point in one of my future live streams to show you guys a bunch of the patterns that I've been tying up and what my individual flies look like, what I've had success on as of late. Mostly just like well, I'll tell you right now, the patterns that I caught fish on this past weekend ranged from a San Juan worm to a zebra midge to an RS2 and a soft hackle emerger style wet fly, and a few others, including a streamer called a Sculptzilla, and what else? A couple like zebra midge variations. They call one the poison tongue, I believe, TUNG, like tungsten. And so, anyway, yeah, I've really been enjoying. I've tied a few hundred flies and really stocked my box, but am making a point to try and gift my dad and my brother a box full of my hand-tied flies for Father's Day coming up in a couple weeks. So, anyway, appreciate you guys. What did Justin say? Does he have to dip out? Oh, no. First bass fishing tournament on Saturday. Yeah, I saw that you said that on Instagram, man. Good for you. Good luck. Congratulations. Why don't we just ask everybody in the chat right now? Justin asked on Instagram, what would you throw if you were him fishing a bass fishing tournament in clearish water with a sandy bottom? I told him smaller presentations like a finesse swim bait or a Ned rig would be good options. I think a wacky rig or a shaky head would be good, if you're not fishing moving baits. If you know where the fish are staging, those would be great options to throw. Otherwise, I would throw moving baits, but it depends on what the water clarity is going to be, what the water temps are like. So good luck to you, man. Hope all goes well, Justin. And thank you very much, William. Yeah, Riley posted a giveaway on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and I tagged a few of you guys just trying to get a little bit of interest going, but I should have done a better job of posting it to my story, driving traffic to that giveaway, and unfortunately, there were not a lot of people that entered the giveaway, and I ended up winning it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that stuff, whether I'm going to re-gift it or just fish with it, but pretty cool deal that I won her giveaway. All right, guys, let's get into the stuff that I picked up from Discount Tackle. for the month of May. I did do a live stream on Instagram with where I initially unboxed these things a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago. But I wanted to show you guys on here as well. And I will leave links to these products. I'll try and add those to the description of the video after I upload this, either tonight or tomorrow, or hopefully sometime this weekend if I don't have a chance to get around to it tonight or tomorrow. I am going up to the mountains, a different place, actually somewhere I've never been before, in Leadville, Colorado, this weekend with some family. So should be a fun little exploration opportunity. There's a couple high mountain lakes at about 10,000 feet where I've actually never been. One is called Turquoise Lake and one is called Twin Lakes. There's actually two lakes next to each other, upper and lower Twin Lakes. And so probably do a little bit of fishing for trout up there. But let's get into the unboxing for May. Now, again, I can't see myself on the screen, so I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see these baits. This is why I like to be able to have the video showing, is so I can actually show you guys up close what I picked up. And I'm going to reload this real quick and see if it makes a difference. If I can see myself now. No, I can't. So, first is what you guys saw me unbox in one of my most recent videos, if not my last video that I was on, and that's the Weston Hypo Tees in the 10-inch, and this is in a rainbow trout pattern. So it's the same bait that I showed you guys. I actually rigged it up on the Stinger setup that I purchased from Weston, which is right here, and how badass is that? So I'm going to rig it the same exact way on this rainbow trout pattern with the intent to catch big bass, big pike, muskie, etc. Maybe even a giant walleye or a lake trout, depending on where I'm fishing. But because these swim baits have solid bodies, they can't really be rigged on a beast hook or just a straight jig head because they are gigantic. At 10 inches long, they really need to be rigged on a Stinger setup. So I picked up one of those because Discount Tackle does carry some of Weston's products, and I love the fact that they had a rainbow trout pattern that I hadn't seen on Weston's website. So Ryan in the house. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man? Doing quite well. Oh, it's been snowing there all day up in Canada. That's insane, man. Sorry to hear that. We got a snowstorm probably a week and a half ago. We got a lot of rain last week, which was great for turning our grass green. But yeah, the weather's been kind of hit or miss, and it's starting to really warm up. So it's closer to spring here in Colorado, like true spring. We're kind of getting into the middle of it. So even though here we're toward the end of spring, it's really mid-spring. Fish are not spawning yet. It's like true pre-spawn. I haven't gotten out fishing enough to really take advantage of it and tell you where the bite is hot. Not that I would tell you guys where it is because it doesn't matter to you, but I don't have that knowledge. So anyway, holy shnikes, it was 95 degrees there on Monday and now it's snowing. Isn't that insane? Absolutely crazy. Yeah, William, you know, it's warm in a lot of places, but Louisiana, how often does it snow where you guys are, man? Up in Canada, it snows a lot. They've got ice until, you know, last month. And we had ice until late March, early April here this year. And so, yeah, it's part of the deal, man. Let's move on to the next bait on the list. And that is the Jackal Gantarelle Junior. Some of these baits are already out of the package, okay? So, in fact, a majority of them are. So I'm not going to literally take them out of the box to show you, but I'm going to show you guys the baits up close. The Gantarelle is a really cool multi-jointed hard swim bait that I didn't already have in my box. It's very realistic looking in terms of profile and the paint jobs that they put on them. This is the RT Bluegill, is what the color is called. A couple features that I really like about it, aside from the paint and the profile just being very realistic, you know, the fins and everything, are they come with really good hardware on them. So you got 2 feathered trebles. Specifically, these hook hangers are rotating. So as you guys know, that's a feature that I really like on a few swim baits on the market. The other main one being the Storm Arashi glide bait and the Storm Arashi swimmer, which I actually don't have just yet. 2 other things I really like about it are that it has a ring on the tail so that you could put a split ring and a stinger treble hook on the back. So you could actually run this with 3 treble hooks, or you could remove this rear one, put a bigger one here, bigger one up front, whatever combination you want. But it does allow you to put another hook on the back, and then you get 2 line ties or eyes up front. One is made to run and tie your line to up front, up top. The other one is meant to add weight to. So this is actually a floating swim bait. So it will only dive to maybe a couple feet deep if you're swimming it fast. But if you're swimming it slowly or twitching it, it's going to stay very shallow and even float up on the paws. So what you can do is add weight to the front, like a cylindrical style drop shot weight, like you'd use on a free rig, something like that, and you can attach it via a split ring, and that'll adjust the sink rate of this bait. So very cool deal. The Gantarelle Junior is not on sale at Discount Tackle, but is a bait that I didn't already have in my arsenal, wanted to add to my box anyway. So I dropped the $31.99 on it and picked that one up. While we're at it, talking about Jackal, I've got one other bait in 2 color patterns that I've never used before, and it is a wild one, okay? I'm going to go finesse on you guys for a few minutes. William says we got almost 5 or 6 inches of snow in late January. Yeah, when everybody had that wild snowstorm across the country. Ryan said fished last weekend of March and still had 40 inches of ice. Oh, wow, that's insane, dude. 3.5 feet of ice at the end of March. So I assume you guys are melted at this point, or are you? Because that is a ton of ice to get through. And I think there are still some places high elevation in Colorado that are frozen over. So yes, Justin, it's a sunburn, man. I got out today for a little bit and got roasted. So I appreciate you noticing. I've also got a little farmer's tan going on here. And if I could show you, I've got a little sandal tan as well. So it's that time of year, man. We've got a lot of sun here in Colorado, and it burns strong. So, okay, open water now. So guys, next bait I want to show you is the Jackal Riser Bait 007R. And this is a top water bait. I picked it up in 2 colors. First one is bone, just a straight bone white, and the other is called RT Hollow Minnow. So check out this tiny little bait. It is a top water bait. However, it's a sinking bait. So it weighs 3/10 of an ounce. So what's that? I don't know. 3 grams, 8 grams. Holy So it's over a quarter. I should know that. 3/10 is over 1/4. So this thing will actually cast a lot better than you'd think for its size. It's less than 3 inches long, and it's got minuscule little size 8 or size 10 treble hooks on it. These things are baby sized, but what's really cool about it is the lip. So this is actually an upward angled lip. So it will sink if you're not fishing it, but as you fish it, it's going to come to the surface and it's going to walk on its own on a straight retrieve. So pretty much cast and wind style bait, but it has a skittering walking style action to it. So here's the RT Hollow Minnow color. Beautiful little brown back, kind of bluish purple side, and a clear belly. As you'd expect from Jackal, just flawless quality when it comes to the build of the bait, the hardware that they put on it, everything like that. So I've heard really good things about this bait, but never picked one up. And so anyway, kind of had to go out of my way to get one, / two of them. And I don't know why I don't see those on the list. Maybe I already opened those and showed them to you, but you guys tell me. I did text Riley, so I didn't hear back from her. So maybe that's why she's not on here right now. Maybe she's busy tonight. No big deal, guys. There's 6 people in here, 5 thumbs up. Do me a quick favor if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button and pop in the chat if you're not contributing right now. We got a couple people chilling. We got Ryan, William, Justin, and Ron. Next up on the list is the baby little Whopper Plopper 60. Have you guys seen this bait yet? As you can see, it is minuscule. So this is the new Whopper Plopper out on the market this year. And it is just a 1/4 ounce. So it has that fatter profile of like the 75, but it's much smaller, okay? It is a little bit cheaper. This thing retails at $10 versus the 12 or 13 that you'd spend on the 75 and the 90, and then like $16 on the 110 and on the 130. Now, I think it's a really cool idea that they came out with a smaller one. Is this going to be in my regular rotation? I'm not quite sure. I think this is going to be something that really excels in creeks and in small ponds where there's really small fish and small bait. But I will say, as you can see, I do have line tied on. And so I tested this out the other day, and I didn't catch any fish on it because our topwater bite is not quite there. You know, all I can get fish to commit to is really that fluke style bait that's just barely subsurface, a little bit more erratic action. They're not quite busting on the surface just yet, but I did notice the action of this thing, and you know, it has a classic Whopper Plopper style to it, as you would expect, but it is much quieter than really all the other baits. I think the 75 is louder than the 90, and I think the 60 is quieter than the 90. So the 60 has a lower frequency, almost more like splashing than a plopping sound. And it's hard for me to imitate that noise, more of like a purring sound than a louder chopping sound, if that makes sense. So Anyway, I like it. I think it's going to do well in pressured bodies of water, in small bodies of water, creeks, rivers, small ponds, and also when bait are really small. But in general, I will go to the 75 the vast majority of the time, unless I know big bass are there. I will throw the 110 a lot of the time as well. The 130 doesn't get the nod for me quite as much just because it's difficult to use. And I find a lot of benefits with the 110, not needing specialized gear. I like the profile of the 110 more than I do the 130, but I would throw the 130 if I really need to make extra long casts, or I know I'm fishing around giant fish, or going for different types of species. So, JT in the house, get fishing. What's up, man? How you doing? Cheers, good to see you in here. So again, I would throw that 75 a little bit more frequently, actually a lot more frequently. It's what I would start with, but you know, in the fall time when bait is really small, I might go to the 60, or again, if I'm in creeks, slow moving water, or ponds with smaller fish, I might give that a go instead of the 75 first, or downsize to the 60 after throwing the 75 if I'm not getting great results. So keep that in mind, guys. And last item that I picked up in this month's package from Discount Tackle is the Evergreen Shower Blows. So, dude, I'm so sorry to hear that you were in the hospital, but I am very glad to hear that you're back home, JT. Keep you in our prayers, man. Hope you're doing better. Hope you're feeling better. So this right here is the Shower Blows 105. This is the smallest size of the three that they make. And I've talked about this bait before, but I saw that Discount Tackle had the bone color in the 105 size in stock. So I decided to add it to my cart when I made this purchase a couple weeks ago. So couple things you should know about the 105. Obviously, it's just over 4 inches long, being that it's 105 millimeters. But this thing weighs 9/16 of an ounce. So it is super castable for its size. And it's got 3 treble hooks on it, which is remarkable for its size. This is essentially the same size bait as like the Super Spook Junior or the Sexy Dog Junior. This is really a small walking bait, and most of those, if not all of them on the market, have 2 treble hooks. So to have 3 treble hooks on a bait this small is pretty cool. Now they are smaller treble hooks, so again, what you could do is upsize the trebles and remove the middle one. You know, instead of having 3 that are in this, like, this is either a size 6 or a size 8, you could probably upsize to 2 size 4s just fine. But the Shower Blows has this cupped mouth, and it has most of the weight in the tail. So this thing is going to cast like a bullet, and then it will sit ass down, and then as you walk it, it's essentially going to walk in place. So this thing is a very unique topwater walking bait. As you can see, Evergreen's got some really cool finishes. They put a lot of glitter on the bottom of the baits. So bone is, you know, undisputably one of the best topwater colors to throw, just period. Doesn't matter what kind of bait you're using. But I only had one color of the SB105, and it was a pure clear, to be honest with you. So I knew that I needed to stock up and pick up a couple more Shower Blows. So here's that clear color I was talking about. They call it like Lake Murray clear. So adding a bone in the 105 to my arsenal was awesome. I've got the bone in the 125 and this bluegill pattern in the 125, but only had one in the 105. And I've heard from a lot of people that it's really their favorite size of the shower blows. And I did recently pick up one of the shower blows in the largest size, the 150. In fact, I think I have it here close by to show you. And it's gigantic, okay? I showed it to you guys not long ago, but look at this thing. This fits right into that same category as like the Strike King Mega Dog or the 6 Sense Mag Dog. And it's an oversized walking bait that's 6 inches long and something like 2 ounces, 1.5 to 2 ounces. So this is more for like striper fishing or just getting fish to reveal themselves just by following the bait. So the 125 is like that go-to size. The 105 is the down size where you're going to get more bites. And the 150 is that oversized. So, anyway, guys. Last thing I picked up from Discount Tackle this month was this hat. So, Discount Tackle really started making their own hats just like a couple months ago, and I missed the boat the first time around. I thought maybe they'd send me one, but they sold out pretty quick, and so I didn't have the opportunity. But then I saw them back in stock a couple weeks ago, so I added it to my order for the month. So I pretty much only picked up a handful of baits and this hat this month, but they're all higher end lures. So again, the Jackal Gantarelle Jr., these 2 Jackal Riser baits, this unique baby topwater that you just fish on a straight retrieve, and that upward bill makes it walk on a straight retrieve. The tiny little Whopper Plopper 60, and the Evergreen Shower Blows in the 105. So, oh, and the giant swim bait from Weston, the Hypo Tees in the 10-inch. So anyway, really excited about those items that I picked up this month. A lot of stuff that I need to get out and fish with, but to be honest, as I mentioned, I think last time I was on, I now am to the point, and this should be no surprise to you guys, but where I've got more stuff than I could fish with this year or for probably the next 5 years. So I really need to decrease the amount of tackle that I'm acquiring on a month-to-month basis. You know, I still have my deal with Discount Tackle and will continue to make one purchase per month through them due to the allowance that I have there, but I'm really not making new wish lists on Tackle Warehouse or anywhere else. So for the most part, my spending is going to go way down moving forward. But I'm a tackle junkie, like a lot of you guys, and you know that I've got a problem. This is what I spend my money on instead of alcohol and weed, especially as much as I used to. You guys know that I don't smoke anymore, and that used to be a pretty expensive habit. So I spend a lot less on fishing tackle than I used to on weed. And you know, I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. But as it stands, I've got more tackle than I can use, and I find it difficult to make decisions on what to throw when I go to the lake or the pond for a couple of hours. Of course, I can't bring, you know, even 5% of what I own. So I do a whole lot of like prep work in thinking about where I'm going, what time of year it is, what the water clarity is most likely to be, what the bait fish and the bass are like there, and kind of whittle down my options and build a couple boxes and take those with me. So pretty wild process, but I love just having and collecting different lures and getting to know what is what. And of course, once iCast rolls around here in the next 2 months, there'll probably be more stuff, new stuff that comes onto my radar, and it's all part of the deal. So, Brian Waterman, sorry I didn't address you yet, but thank you so much for hopping in here, man. Good to see you. Say, yo, just got home from night fishing. The Spro Rat put in work. Awesome, dude. Caught 4 fish and had a couple blow-ups if they missed it. Dude, that Spro Rat is baller. What color were you throwing? You guys know I like to throw that Spro Rat. In fact, I've got more confidence in it than the Savage Gear Rat. Both are good baits, but yeah, I really look forward to doing more night fishing here in the next, a month or so. I'll really start getting into it more, but I like the Rat from Spro, especially in the 30 and the 40 sizes. And you guys know I like that Morning Dawn color, as well as the natural brown, and some of my rats are hiding under my bats. But anyway, what color were you throwing, Brian? Hey, William, no problem, man. Quite a bit of school to catch up on tomorrow, man. When does your school year end, dude? Have a great rest of your night. Sleep well. Finish the year strong. Hope you're able to fish a lot this summer, man. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Ron Holly loves the Morning Dawn Purple Rat from Spro. It's arguably his favorite bait that I have ever shown on this channel. In fact, whenever it comes up, he can't stop talking about it. Oh, hell yeah. Purple and white with the yellow tail, Brian. Yoo-hoo! He says, I learned to just bring 2 rods and a couple baits, so I don't think about changing every couple casts. You know, that is in fact what I did today, and it backfired on me, but it's part of the deal. I actually brought 4 rods, but I only brought one with me at a time. So I fished up and down this huge riprap bank, went back to the car, swapped it out. So I was throwing a 7-inch this bait, but in the white color. This is the Megabass Spark Shad. I had it on just an Owner Beast 8-aught hook. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, I just posted like an hour or 2 ago. The reason that I throw such big baits at that body of water specifically is that there are some gizzard shads that are gigantic. I'm telling you, I found a dead gizzard shad today that was like 16 inches long, like football sized, absolutely huge. So I posted a picture of that gizzard shad today, and there's a reason that I throw big baits at that lake, and that's why. The bait in there can get gigantic, and the crawdads too. I mean, they can get 5 inches long. This 4-inch Savage Gear 3D craw, it doesn't even come close. So big baits at that place, but didn't get any bites on the swim bait, so I switched to chatterbait. I was throwing a jackhammer with a Z-Man razor shads on the back, didn't get any on that. And then I was throwing a jerk bait. Water kind of calmed a little bit and was relatively clear today, so throwing that Megabass Vision 110 in a white color. I think it's called Stain Reaction. Didn't get anything from that. And last deal I was throwing in some shallower areas where I could see some fish holding but that were not biting was the new Z-Man Pro Craws on the new Z-Man jig head that pairs up perfectly with it. So this is such a cool bait. It's an Elastec bait that is a lot more realistic in size So as you see, it's pretty much the same size as that Savage Gear Craw, but this is made from Elastec, so it's going to be super durable. And they now make the Pro Bullets jig head that is that EWG style hook with a bullet weight on the front and a belly weight on the bottom of the shank of the hook. And I love that rig, that setup. Super cool deal, but no takers on it either. So I really just caught a sunburn today, no fish, but had a good time out nonetheless. All right, William, you got finals next week, and then you're done for the year. Good luck, man. Good luck finishing strong, studying, and hope those finals go well for you. So I probably won't talk to you before you finish up, so good luck on your test, man. Darren Wu. Man, I feel like you always hop on here a little bit late. I don't know how long I've been on here, but I don't have much longer to hang out simply because my situation just is what it is still. My wife is still on maternity leave. She goes back to work in some 3 weeks or so. And so our situation is just, we're still kind of taking turns, taking shifts. So she's going to go to bed here in the next probably 20 minutes. And I got to do right by her and not hang out forever tonight. So I hopped on to just show you guys what I picked up from Discount Tackle this month. Not only did I get this sweet hat, but got some really sweet baits. Got a Jackal Gantarelle junior size, multi-jointed hard swim bait. Got one of the Evergreen shower blows in the 105 size. This is their smallest in their walking baits. And in the bone color, picked up 2 of the Jackal riser baits. This is a minuscule topwater walking bait. It's not really a walking bait so much as, I don't even know what to call it because of this upward bill that it's got. This thing will rise to the surface and then have kind of a skittering walking action as you straight retrieve the bait. It is a sinking bait, so it casts really well, but if you don't work it, it will sink. So as you work the bait, it rises to the surface, and then it kind of skitters on top. Picked up one of the Whopper Plopper 60, tiny little guys, and I picked up one of the Weston Hypo Tees baits in the 10-inch that I showed you guys in my last unboxing. This in a rainbow trout pattern, though. So picked all that up from Discount Tackle in the past couple weeks. Yeah, Brian, I don't know, Flying Minnow. This is a very unique style bait, the riser bait. So I'll let you guys know what I think of it once I have a chance to actually tie it on and fish it, but I haven't had the opportunity to do so just yet. The only one of these that I really have is the Whopper Plopper 60. And I fished the Shower Blows 105 before, but the Whopper Plopper 60 is the only one that's new to me that I've opened and tied on recently. And again, it's got a very subdued, quiet action compared to the other Whopper Ploppers. I like how the profile is fat, like the 75 and like the 110. It's got that improved tail shape where it does tuck into the body more than, say, the 90 or the 130, and so you're less likely to get it fouled up with individual pieces of grass, which is great, but the sound that the tail makes is much quieter than you get from the other baits, especially the 75 and the 110 and the 130. So I think it'll have its time and its place, but it is what it is. Ron, what do you see out in nature all the time? The morning dawn rats, dude? Get the heck out of here. The bellows gill is cool, man. I haven't put it to work as much as I thought I would, and it's funny. Here's the reason why, guys. It's almost like the price tag is deterring me from using it. But the other thing is that it really is a bluegill profile and a bluegill imitator. So our water here hasn't been quite warm enough to have bass move all the way up into the shallows and have the bluegill become super active. Um, Except in that one body of water, that small pond that I have fished and had some good success on in catching, pretty much everything. So bluegill, crappie, walleye, and bass, but it's a tiny pond and the bass are mostly really small. So the bass are not eating the bluegill as much as you would think. So I haven't tied it on very much. In fact, I've only used one of the baits, put it back in the bag after I was done. But the price tag is deterring me from using it. And, there's only 5 in a pack and it was like $9 or $10, whatever it is. And so I'm looking for the right opportunity to use it. But I know it's a good bait, especially on a few different rigs. So on a weightless Texas rig, on a Tokyo rig, on a Texas rig, and on a free rig, probably even a drop shot, the bellows gill is a good bait. I know it's a good bait. I just haven't found the right time and place to use it just yet. So, good bait, but honestly, I'm not about to spend $100 stocking up on a couple colors of one bait. In fact, I only bought one pack in the middle size. They make it in a 2.8, a 3.8, and a 5.8. And I got the 3.8 simply because I think it's going to imitate a small bluegill the best, and because I think it's got the best bang for the buck for what it is. So that's my take on the bellows gill, but I've heard really good things about it, and I know that one, it's been super hyped, and two, some people do everything they can to not talk about it, like Smallmouth Crush. Travis Manson, I think, had some really good success on it last season, and Brian the Carpenter from Bass U and Ike Live made the mistake of spilling the beans talking about that, and a day that he and Travis had some really good success on it, and there's been some jokes about that and just how it's a borderline secret bait in terms of how effective it is. I'm sure you guys watch some of Travis and Smallmouth Crush, but no, dude, I didn't. Brian's asking if I made a Nico Baits order. I tried to, but I was waiting for, I forget what the deal was. I had added a whole bunch of stuff to my cart, and then the Smallmouth Crush code, the discount code, didn't work. And so I contacted them to see if I could still get that discount, and I never heard back. And so I just held off, and then my cart emptied. I forgot what I had added to it. What I did instead was hopped on Amazon and was able to find a couple of things that were even cheaper on Amazon than on Nico's website. And shipping was free because I've got Amazon Prime. Whereas if you order from Nico, I think it's pretty expensive shipping. And I could be mistaken about that, but I don't think they do free shipping of any kind, no matter how much you order. So I only bought a couple of baits, but I did get the tadpole and I got the octopus. So I wanted to check out a couple of their other baits, like their shaky head style worm. It's a hollow body, and maybe their Ned rig bait. But their Ned rig and their like craw style bait, it's a really small one, are really expensive for what they are. So there were a few others that I wanted to pick up, but ultimately I only picked up the tadpole in a couple of colors and the octopus in like one color. And dude, they stink like real bad. The scent that they have on them is like a shrimp bait fish type of scent, and they're gnarly. But I will say that that tadpole looks like it's going to be sweet on a Ned head and on a drop shot. So I'm going to give it a shot here soon, but just haven't had a chance to do so yet. I only picked them up in pink and white because of Amazon availability and shipping stuff. So I really intend to throw them on beds and or around smallmouth, which I just haven't gotten out to targeting just yet. So I'll keep you posted on that though. Brian, did you purchase an order from Nico or what? Yeah, Ron. Everyone talks about buying them. I don't know. Is that the case? I mean, honestly, that's kind of the deal with Geek Crack. Is they're a Japanese brand who charges more than average for the American market, and that can be a difficult thing. Same deal with Nico, right? The cool thing about Nico is that their baits are made from like an Elastec style material that is also biodegradable, so you can feel doubly good about making that purchase and spending the extra dough on those baits. But with something like Geek Crack, it's a plastisol style material that they're using, and it is super soft and salty. So those things are going to be the reverse of durable. And so, in fact, what I will probably do with them when fishing them on a drop shot or otherwise is put a screw lock into the nose of those baits to preserve and make that bait last a couple of fish at the very least. You know, I could see that if you just Texas rigged it on a standard EWG hook, that it might only last a fish or two at most, or a couple hook sets and missed fish, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it's definitely a problem. No problem, Justin. Guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm going to have to dip out of here in just a minute. So, I was hoping this would be a little bit more open forum, that you guys might be able to choose a topic for us to talk about tonight. But it flowed pretty decently. I'm glad that we all got to hang out a little bit, and you know, the community is kind of back together. So Ron says Debo, Burley, Bateman all talked about buying them, but nothing on how they did. Yeah, interesting. And maybe it's for the same reasons as Smallmouth Crush, or maybe it's just because they're not using them. Like me, you know, scared to tie them on. Which is silly if you think about it. There's no reason to be scared of using a bait because of how expensive they are. In fact, we go out of our way to spend, you know, $20 and $30 on baits all the time. So why not throw a $2 soft plastic where it might get hung up or it might wear out on a hook set or only last one or two fish? There's really no reason. I have no excuse. So you're right, Ron. Good reminder. In fact, I do have them in my tackle bag. I've been bringing them with me and looking for an opportunity to use them, but just haven't found it yet, right? If I see bass hanging around close to bluegill, if I see bass bedding, if I see bigger bass that I know are likely to be feeding on bluegill, I'm going to whip that thing out for sure. But if I'm fishing around smaller bass, if I'm fishing around multiple species that I know are not feeding on bluegill, I'm not likely to throw it. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me because the profile isn't likely to get bit by anything other than a decent sized bass. You know, it's like throwing this gantarelle. So, anyway, just my opinion, man. Brian says, I looked and same as you, didn't really like the price for the product, so I didn't pull the trigger. I get you, man. did buy the Bassman spinner baits. Kind of like the way they look. Right on. Yeah, well, I hear you. Nico, you know, it's an interesting deal. Smallmouth Crush and Epic Eric and just the guy from Nico Baits did a remarkable job that night of selling Nico's product and making it look really cool, really appealing, almost game changing in terms of the way that they're made and what they can do, how durable they are, and what they're good for. But yeah, they're super pricey, man. So I'm with you there. I've never heard of Bassman spinnerbaits. Also, Ron mentioned some cool jigs to me the other day. Texted me, Ron, what did you say? Super K jigs? What were you talking about, man? Leave a comment in the chat so everybody can go check those out after this. And yeah, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. I'm going to dip out of here in just 1 minute so that I can relieve my wife to go sleep for the night. And I can hang out with my son for a couple hours. But awesome seeing you guys and hanging out, as always. Hope you all are doing well. I am. And yeah, I look forward to the next time that we can hang out. Feel free to contact me at any time. You can email me. I'll give you my phone number. We can text. I do that with Ron Holly, and I chat with Justin, aka No Diggity, through direct messaging on Instagram. But Brian, Darren, anybody else, if you want to chat offline outside the streams, I'd be happy to. If ever you guys have questions about anything fishing related or otherwise, I'd be happy to be here for you. So, Brian says, Omnia, the only place that sells them in the U.S., I think. So you're saying Bassman is top-notch or Omnia is top-notch? Because I would say Discount Tackle is top-notch. I'm just kidding. Omnia is a good place, but is a direct competitor of Discount Tackle. So I can't rep them or speak too highly of them. Now, that's just me. But I'll check out Bassman spinnerbaits for sure. I'm sure that they sell their own, right? You don't have to buy them through Omnia, right? So anyway, guys, I've got about 3 ounces left of beer. I'm going to chug this and then dip out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Good weekend. Again, I'm going up to the mountains, Leadville, Colorado. Check out a couple new lakes called Turquoise Lake and Twin Lakes. Never been there before. Should be super fun hanging out with the family, exploring new spots. Bassman's from Australia, huh? Interesting. Yeah, I'll check him out. Ron has not left that comment, so maybe he will after the video's over, and you guys can check him out. Justin, cheers, man. Appreciate you very much. Glad that you hopped in as well. Good luck in your tournament, man. All right, Ron. Guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a good weekend. I will see you in the next one. Cheers. Tight lines on the water, guys. See you soon.